We are back for our Patreon bonus episode with Patty Patty Boorom.
That's a tough one.
Well, I just think of the way you taught me to pronounce it. Like you're giving a speech and you're god awful horrid at it, and you're boring them,
Yep,
right?
warm to death.
Yeah, bore them to death. And so, Patty, what all kinds of things has your family wanted to do with DVC points?
Well, my son would love to do the Polynesian bungalow. We would go for one night, maybe. um, but this is the first time we're doing a split stay.
Okay.
We've never done a split stay, so that's going to be something different too this time. And the other ones with the points, they just kind of follow along. They're like, nope, but your points. You tell us what we're going to do.
Oh, really? So they don't like try to like lobby or say, Grandma, can we go here? Or
Well, I can't say that because the reason we are going to Oak Key West is because the youngest grandson loves Oak Key West and he loves the pool. So that's why we're going there.
okay. Well, I mean,
He's the boss.
I'm telling you, grandsons and little kids have a tendency to be that way as
Yes.
well.
He's the boss. He's the reason we got it in the first place. So
Okay. Now, do you have just one grandchild or multiple or?
no, I've got my son's got 3 boys and my daughter's got a boy. So they've all gone with me down there. And the one is 19, the other 17, and then my youngest, Miles, is 9.
Okay. So he's still at a great age where it's
He
like Disney is
is.
still pretty magical.
Oh, he is a Disney freak. He loves Disney. He knows all about it. This last trip he planned. He
Oh,
planned it. He got online, of course, with Dad watching over his shoulders, and he did all of the um like park reservations. And now when we go to do he wants to be up when we go to do our dining reservations. He wants to be there and learn how to do that.
okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty awesome that he's wanting to come back in and do this. I know my son will kind of come up with like bucket list things that he wants to do. So, like the last trip over at Universal, he's 9 as well. We did not get the big, huge, giant donut over at Simpsons Land, and I've never heard the end of it since then. So it's like, okay, son, when you get down here in December for Christmas
That's
break,
what you're gonna do.
we are making a beeline to over to that donut because when we were in Alani, we kept telling him, "Oh, we'll do Menahune Trail, Menahune Trail." And the last 3 days in a row, it was broken.
Oh, yep.
So he did not get to do Menahune Trail, and that is like epic dad fail. Okay, like
Well, I don't want to be an epic grandma fail. We are going to do Fantasmic 3 times because if
all
it doesn't
right,
work the first time, then at least we got the second time to go to, and then a third time just in case.
just in case. Well, it is a phenomenal show. I did get to see that this weekend as well. And again, Ron invited me to a dining package with at Brown Derby. So we had front and center seats and it's just a phenomenal show. I told Ron that this is Disney's, looking at the entertainment. This is Disney looking at theme park theatrical spectaculars saying, hold my beer. Okay.
Right. Yes.
This show is that level of awesomeness of
Yes.
everything that they put in there from the
It,
stunts, the acrobatics, the story,
everything.
the pyro.
Yeah. It's his favorite show. It's his favorite. And even when he was little, when he was about 4 years old, he was at my house. He had Legos, and he built a Lego float like Mickey's boat, and he would
Okay.
sing the song and move the float along. It was just adorable.
Yeah, okay. I'm telling you now. So it sounds like the grandkids have. Now, have they been asking to go to Alani yet? Or
No,
Vero or no
nope,
beach?
nope, not yet. They want to go. I'm sure the older one will sooner or later because getting. He's been there so many times. He's getting used to all the rides and everything else. And but once he gets a little bit older, I'm sure he's going to want to go to some of those.
Okay.
I don't think they're really beach people.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm cool with that as well. I mean, I love me some Alani, but I think you can kind of keep Hilton Head and Vero because I'm not that beachy, but Hawaii is like a whole new epic paradise.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
that I Yeah, there's just no competition there between Alani and the other beach resorts. It's not a fair fight. It's just not a fair fight.
Yeah. I would love to do a cruise too, but I'm not going to use my points for it.
Yeah, that's not a great use of points either. Not a great use of points. So, what about international parks? Has anybody in the family mentioned anything about Shanghai,
No,
Disneyland, Paris?
no, no. I don't. I know that they know about them. They don't care. I think getting to go here first is they're happy with that right now.
Okay, yeah. Now, what about Disneyland then? Like,
Disneyland, yes, they've all asked about Disneyland, and I said we could go out to Disneyland, but I think we're going to wait until the new hotels open and
okay,
get a little bit more in away from us and go into there sometime. And it's not that far. Everybody goes 5 hour boat, 5 hour plane ride. It's not that bad.
no, I don't think so as well, especially if you can get a direct flight to LAX. And now, if you're going to change planes, I'm at John Wayne Airport all day long because you might as well, because then you're like 15 minutes from Disneyland as
Right.
opposed to an
Uh-huh.
hour or two in LA traffic.
Mhm. The same thing
So,
going out like to San Diego. When I went to San Diego, it was like to Detroit to San Diego, and then you have to take the red eye home.
yeah, yeah, you're always taking a red eye home. Yeah, that's well, at least I'm always taking the red eye home because I'm only paying for the cheapest flights I can get, and
Yes.
unfortunately, that's usually the red eye. So
Well,
it is
we're
what it
really
is.
lucky. Yeah, and we're lucky because now Binghamton, where I live, has a direct flight from our Binghamton airport down to Orlando now, and it's like $59 a person
Oh,
round trip.
nice.
So you can't beat that.
No, you really can't. Any like a direct flight for 59 bucks is yeah, in this day and age, that's unheard of. It's I can find those now on Spirit for about that price, but I'm coming in like off-peak January to early February before Valentine's Day
Yeah.
when all the kids are back in school and you know, none of the families really want to come here other than those who just want out of the cold.
True.
And are willing to, take their kids out of school or maybe they don't have, kids in school to do.
My son doesn't care. He's like, if we're going for a week, the school understands. They'll give him work. I'm taking him out of school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people care. Some people really don't. My grandkids are good, so they don't. They make up their work. Their
Yeah.
school
They
is
get it
very
done. They get it
yeah,
done.
and the school understands that you can make it very educational.
You can. I wish my wife, who is a, world language teacher of fifth and sixth grade, I wish she would write lesson plans for Epcot for kids to do to go back in there. Cause I think we could kind of sell them to parents for like, here's $10 to keep your kids busy at Epcot on some
Mhm.
educational material and come back
Absolutely.
in and produce something on, like a little report, a selfie video thing of, what did they learn from each lesson and that would be something that the families would love to have. And I keep telling Laura, like, look, you should write a lesson plan on this. You've got all the numbers, colors, greetings, all of this stuff for most of these countries. Come up with some kind of a little challenge that the kids do while they're there, while the parents are drinking and having fun. So,
Very true. One of the things that his phys ed teacher did said that if he had a picture taken with himself at every single one of the monuments, like the Eiffel Tower, with the Eiffel Tower in the background, if every one of them, they would give him so much credit. Another one said, the phys ed teacher said, if you could mark down the number of steps you take every day,
okay.
he would give him so much credit for that. So, if you work with the school, work with the teachers, they understand.
Yeah.
Not just a not just a super fun trip, but it's a
Well,
fun trip where you can exercise and learn also.
yeah, here's the reality of teachers, though. Like, they wish they could get some of these off-peak travel times because every time we get ready to take our family someplace, it revolves around when Laura's out of school and when the kids are out of school. And I can fly home to Detroit now for main cabin Delta. A decent deal is 298. It's up from like 168 back pre-pandemic when we had this big idea to buy a house down here. And Spirit we could get for 70, $80 round trip from Detroit. Now it's like double, triple, quadruple. But when it comes spring break time, it's 800 or $1,000 a seat. It just
Yeah,
it makes it so that
ridiculous.
it's not realistic anymore. Not
No,
during those times. So I'm like, we've got to figure out other ways. And
yeah, and that's hard to do unless you drive.
yeah,
I mean,
unless you drive, or we've kind of figured out, and I just haven't quite convinced her to do this yet, but what if you were to drive to Dayton or Cincinnati, like 4 or 5 hours, okay, and then catch a flight the rest of the way? So that this way you're not beating yourself up in flight time, but we can still, because your spring break's not going to correlate with Ohio spring break or something along those lines. And I'm kind of getting a half and half. Maybe I'll consider it kind of a deal, right?
yeah, that's not a. We used to drive an hour and a half up north to fly south because we wanted to go direct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that.
Well, I think there's a valid strategy and reason here in COVID to fly direct is because you don't want to get, transferring planes in Cincinnati and
Mhm.
then your flight from Cincinnati to your destination got canceled.
Correct.
At
Yep.
least, okay, I'm in Disney for another day, or at least I'm home for another day if my flight gets canceled, but I don't want to be stuck midway. So yeah, good
And I
enough.
think
Good enough.
everybody tries to arrange it so that they go in the morning, get there in the afternoon, so they've got the evening, and then we try to get the latest flight home. But it doesn't always work.
Yeah. That is one thing that I have noticed is for me to get my cheap flights, I'm very lucky if I can get it on the latest flight home. Now, the bad news about the latest flight home is I've got like zero chance of getting an upgrade. And I'm platinum on Delta. There's only diamonds
Mhm.
above me. I still have a zero chance of getting an upgrade if I take a late flight home at night, because that's when all the families do and all the business travelers do. And they
So
just kind of like, you know, out me. But if I sign up to that, do that, hey, I'll leave MCO at 6 a.m. in the morning flight, first class, 5 days in advance every time.
mhm,
Bang, bang,
right.
bang, bang, bang. So that's another little pro tip there as well. Is if you're leaving Orlando at night, just don't look for upgrades. They're not happening.
No. And we have to look because my oldest grandsons are 6'3" and 6'2", so they have to have extra leg room. So we have to get our tickets in advance so that we can get those seats.
Yeah,
So they're usually in the exit rows, that type of thing.
got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, thanks so much for sticking around, and thank you so much for being a Patreon member, Patty. I can't thank you enough for it, and thank you for helping us create some more content and some more discussion to just have a little bit of bonus for the Patreons. I know people really enjoy the little bonus episodes that we put out there.
I enjoy watching them. I'm very much enjoying doing this and just talking to you and learning a little bit more about how you do things helps me on this end.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send the video link over to Marianne as well because you know I can. What we use these interviews for, and what a lot of people don't realize it is, this is kind of our testing ground to see, hey, can people get the tech working? Can they get lighting working? Can they get other thing working? And everything you've got going is good enough to join us on a live sometime. So I'll send it over to the live team to go, hey, don't forget about Patty here. If you're recruiting for a third
Mm-hmm.
person to join you for something as well, for some color commentary or something along those lines as well. And
Yeah, even if
those
you
of
needed
you,
something like on DAS, my son could come in and talk about it. But if that was a subject to talk about,
yeah, it's, maybe we'll do a show on it. And I'm kind of hesitant to a little bit because I don't want to over
you
promote
don't
it.
want to push it. Yes,
But
exactly.
when Caleb was here last time, he was telling me about some challenges that he has in the morning. And I looked at it and I was like, dude, trust me, I live your deal. I can barely leave the house before 12 o'clock because I'm not sure how many times I have to go and when I have to go and whatever. And it's a big pain. Usually after 12, it's died down. And he's like, why don't you sign him for DAS, Chad? And I'm like, well, I never thought of it as a disability. I just thought it was like the way of my life. And he's like, but you really can't rope drop with this going on. And I'm like, you're right, I
No.
can't. And every time I do try to rope drop, I'm like praying they're dancing at the rope drop, going, please, 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 please let this down because I can't fight back through this people to get over to the bathroom at Hollywood. My only shot is for them to drop the ropes, let me go in and hit the bathroom straight into the entry there.
And when
And
your family's there, you're going to want a rope drop.
yeah,
You want to get everything that you can get in.
yeah. So he really made the case that, this is a valid thing for you based on, some of these similar criteria that we have. And I went, Caleb, you're exactly right. And I talked to Disney and they were like, yeah, that's kind of what this is for. When you've got those kind of an issues, and I could never tell. Right. So yeah, it works out, right? It really does work out as well, but I don't want to like over promote it, so to speak. And
Yeah, I don't want
you
everybody
know,
to think that they, just because they've got something wrong, that they can go ahead and try to get it, because then that
yeah,
defeats the purpose of having a disability aligned.
which is why they kind of kick the people out that are like, hey, you can get by with a scooter.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know one of my friend's wife has severe like MS, and heat will really trigger it. So she's also in the educational field. So that puts her in there in summer a lot. And Florida heat can be pretty oppressive at least 9 months out of the year. So she has it as well. And it's because she can't stand out in the heat. And well, a lot of these lines are outdoor cues.
A lot of them are. And even if they're in under something, that could be a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you do Flight of Passage, you could be outside for, 45
Mm-hmm.
minutes standing in
I know
the,
on Jungle Cruise, you might be not the sun on you, but you've got all those people around you, and that's creating a lot of heat.
yeah, yeah, even the body heat from other people. That's a good point. And yeah. Anyways, well, thank you so much for the bonus time here, Patty.
Oh, you're welcome.